Hello anybody that might stumble across this. Figure I'd make a short cooking video with something that I discovered in 2020 when we were all stuck inside. So here are the ingredients. I'll try to get a list in the video if possible. As far as tools or equipment, you will need a stove and oven, skillet and spatula, cookie sheet, in this case a very old cookie sheet, a hammer, parchment paper, containers, because this is part of my meal prep, and also a good knife, a cutting board, and a mixing bowl. Also optional but preferred, cleanup crew on standby. Alright, so here we are. We have our oven preheating to 450 degrees, and we are ready to cut and prep the tofu. So we want about 1 inch, well, it really doesn't matter, but close to 1 inch by 1 inch squares of tofu. I pretty much just eye it. So, and in stacks of 3, I found is easiest to cut evenly. So anyone wondering how I came across this, it's not as exciting as maybe a mommy blogger. I wasn't strolling through a golden field of wheat with my idyllic family and 2 dogs. During 2020, I kind of challenged myself to eat less meat and found this random recipe, probably from a mommy blogger, but I'm not sure exactly where now, because I've made it so many times that I stopped needing a reference. I'll probably time-lapse a little of this if I can, because I know it's probably not terribly exciting to just watch me place tofu down here. All right, there we go. Should be all ready to go into the oven. It will cook at 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. Seems to work. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so 30 minutes later, here we are. They look all right. Have kind of a little golden brown tint to them. It's not like meat, so it doesn't really, matter if you under or overcook just a little. So it looks good. We'll get these put into a container and move on to the rest of it. There we go. All packed up and ready to go in the fridge. Probably a safe assumption that most of us know how to crack an egg, but I like to crack and scramble the eggs before I actually start to cook on the stove, so that I don't have to rush to do it while I'm trying to cook stuff over there. Maybe that was a rough break. Maybe I don't know how to crack an egg. Who knows? There we go. So some may have been wondering what the hammer's for. And the answer is beating the crap out of our vegetables. So an easy way I've found to do this is so that it doesn't explode. We poke a small hole in it with a knife to let air out. And then we beat the crap out of it with this side of a hammer. There we go. Now we've turned our solid block of vegetables into something that we can actually work with. All right, I can't believe that I forgot this at the beginning, but we will also need minced garlic. I'll be sure to add that into the list if I can manage to get the video editor to work with me. So here we're going to put it on about medium heat, which on my dial is between 3 and 4. Do a quick little spray of olive oil or whatever your preference is. Get our garlic and do 2 teaspoons. Here we go. Now we're going to add our vegetables. I usually do between 5 and 6 cups, depending on if there's any large chunks left after we beat it with the hammer. All right, so not too bad. Just gonna even it out a little, and I will usually let it stay there. Oh, wrong button. For about 5 minutes, mixing it up about every 2 minutes. Just to get everything thawed out mostly. Okay, so it's the end of our 5 minutes, and everything looks to be pretty well thawed. No excess ice chunks or frozen chunks. Usually from here I just kind of eye it, but if I had to guess, I'd say probably another 3 to 4 minutes of just kind of cooking and stirring before we add in the ginger. But we'll see. It's now I'll know. We're recording it. Right, so here we are about 3 minutes later, and we'll add in 2 teaspoons of ginger. And we'll mix that in. And I'd say maybe 2 more minutes after you mix that in, we'll add in the eggs. When we add in the eggs, we want to make a little hole in the middle here. About like that. And just pour them right in there. Okay, we'll wait a second, and then we'll mix it up. So we want to try to prevent any big egg chunks. And this will be a pretty intensive part, because we'll have to go through multiple times and kind of chop it up, make sure we don't get any big chunks forming as the egg is cooking. I like to put it in a little line about like that and chop it. Crosshatch. This kind of helps spread it out through the vegetables and also keeps it from forming big clumps. And we'll let it sit there for a second. I don't know an exact time on how long we should cook the egg. Just kind of best judgment on whenever you think it's done. About when it starts to look like scrambled eggs, basically. All right, so that's looking pretty much done. We've got a really good even mixing of vegetables and egg. The egg looks like it's in a good consistency. No real big clumps. So I think we're ready to package this up and store it. Okay, so here we are. Looks pretty good to me. I know with the camera quality, can't really tell that much. I also know it doesn't look like there's much, but tomorrow I'll show you how to mix in the tofu and make it. Also, sorry cleanup crew, I didn't actually drop anything. She gave up on me and started eating her own food. Alright folks, it is now yesterday's tomorrow. So I'm just going to fix this real quick before a meeting starts at the top of the hour. So the way I usually make this is I'll do it in 2 rounds. So I'll take it, and this will obviously vary depending on your microwave. Mine is 1,000 watts and needs to be cleaned. But I go for 3 minutes, power level 4. And then this is the hot sauce that I usually use. It's my daily driver. The salt, if the camera will focus, is fairly low. It's about 75, so 3% daily value. And the tofu serves as our main protein. Since when it's all said and done, it'll have about, if we divide this up into fourths, each will have about 20 grams of protein. Plus we've got the eggs in there and the vegetables. So it shapes up to be a pretty healthy meal, I think. And just for fruits, I usually grab an apple or kiwi from my basket. And we'll be back for round 2 in the microwave when that gets done. Alright, so I decided not to show the second run because it's basically just me grabbing a fourth of the container of tofu, stirring it in, and putting it back in the microwave for 3 minutes at power level 4. So this is what it looks like all done after mixing up the tofu and drizzling some hot sauce. I don't drizzle on the hot sauce till after I'm done with all the cooking cycles. So now it's ready to eat. It smells wonderful, especially with the hot sauce. And the tofu really does add a lot of volume. And the texture goes great with the vegetables and egg. So now I'll go get to my meeting and enjoy this. And there's cleanup crew.